is just that people did not trust him, and they did not avail of that way of escape. It just means that the, the people who are not able to overcome appetite chose not to overcome appetite. They chose to indulge appetite. That is why in the judgment, there's no weight with God for those who are making excuses in gratifying their perverted appetite. Daniel valued his human capabilities, but he did not trust in them. So we may think, we may sometimes think that we are strong enough to overcome, but trusting in the arms of flesh is one way of failing. So even though Daniel is able, he did not trust himself. His trust was in that strength which God has promised to all who will come to him in humble dependence, relying wholly upon his power. So let us learn from Daniel not to trust in ourselves, but to trust in God. Trust in the strength that God is offering us. Lay hold of him that is able to save us. And this is what Daniel did. He purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. For he knew that such a diet would not strengthen his physical powers or increase his mental capability. He would not use wine nor any other unnatural stimulant. He would do nothing to becloud his mind. And God gave him knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and also understanding in all visions and dreams. So, if we ever want to overcome, if we ever want to go to heaven, to enter into the gates of the city, let us purpose in our heart also that we would not defile ourselves. Let us purpose it in our hearts. Daniel's parents had trained him in his childhood to habits of strict temperance. In this example, we can see the benefits if we start earlier. If we really start early, we can see the benefit in Daniel's example. He started in his childhood. Habits of strict temperance. They had taught him that he must conform to nature's laws in all his habits, that his eating and drinking had a direct influence upon his physical, mental, and moral nature, and that he was accountable to God for his capabilities. For he held them all as a gift from God, and must not, by any course of action, dwarf or cripple them. As the result of this teaching, the law of God was exalted in his mind and reverence in his heart. During the early years of his captivity, Daniel was passing through an ordeal which was to familiarize him with courtly grandeur, with hypocrisy, and with paganism. A strange school indeed to fit him for a life of sobriety, industry, and faithfulness. And yet, he lived uncorrupted by the atmosphere of evil with which he was surrounded. So, why was Daniel able to overcome even when he was in the middle of apostasy? It is because when he was a child, he was trained to habits of strict temperance. Remember that he is around the age of 17 years old when he was brought to Babylon. That is still very young in reality. But because he started training in his childhood, he did not depart from God's principle. The experience of Daniel and his youthful companions illustrates the benefits that may result from an abstemious diet and shows what God will do for those who will cooperate with him in the purifying and uplifting of the soul. They were an honor to God and a bright and shining light to the court in the court of Babylon. So uh, we may, as adults already, we may not be able to do this anymore, but we have children, we have young ones to take care of still, especially those who have some child in the family. If we haven't started training them, we must start now if we ever want them to become like Daniel and his companions, to become a shining light everywhere they may go when they grow up. In this history, we hear the voice of God addressing us individually, bidding us gather up all the precious rays of light upon this subject of Christian temperance and place ourselves in right relation to the laws of health. So, every little light that we may encounter regarding Christian temperance, let us cherish them and put ourselves in the right place that we may receive the help that God is willing to give us. We want a share in the eternal inheritance. We want a place in the city of God, free from impurity. All heaven is watching to see how we are fighting the battle against temptation. Let all who profess the name of Christ so walk before the world that they may teach by example as well as precept the principles of true living. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So, where we want to go to heaven, that's why we are striving. And let us overcome. Let us strive to overcome appetite. It is where sin started in this world, and Christ started overcoming Satan with winning over the temptation of appetite. Moses preached a great deal on this subject, and the reason the people did not go through to the promised land was because of repeated indulgence of appetite. 9/10 of the wickedness among the children of today is caused by intemperance in eating and drinking. That is a very big factor. 90% of the wickedness among the children is caused by intemperance in eating and drinking. We can see how strong this terrible demon of perverted appetite is. 90% of all the wickedness is caused by it. Adam and Eve lost Eden through the indulgence of appetite, and we only regain it by the denial of the same. This is the last slide that I have, and may we may we be able to deny our appetites. May we be able to conquer this terrible demon, so that when the time comes, Christ will say to us, enter into the gates. May, may this lesson be a blessing to all of us. Happy Sabbath, brethren.